Alright, this is a different angle than usual, but we're going to need it for today's video. Today we're going to be having a look at my camera bag. Literally all the equipment that I am in the possession of and what I take out the photo shoots or out to explore, whatever. We're going to have a look at it and we're going to do that right now. Starting off with my beloved camera bag. I just hit my lamp. Anyways, this thing is designed to be like kind of like a normal backpack. Since you don't have these like usual slots, it's just like a normal backpack, but it means that you actually don't have to use all these different slots. You just throw your stuff in there and you head out the door. I actually like it. This bag is by Coleman, or whatever you pronounce that. I'll try to find it online, but I've been having this for a long time, so I don't really know what model this is. This thing is suited for rain as well, since it comes with a cover that you can just wrap around the bag, and it's supposed to be somewhere in there. So I currently have two camera bodies, one being the full frame that I shoot on right now, and so for the crop frame I have the Sony a6300. It was the first camera that I got, and I got it for like Christmas like 3 years ago, and this is like, on this thing I pretty much learned everything about photography and filmmaking on this thing before I went on to buy the full frame camera that I'm using right now. This thing came with the 16, the 50mm f3.5. Well, I actually sold that kit lens to get another lens, which is going to be the 18 to 135, which I'm going to show later when we get to the lens part. But honestly, if you're just starting out with photography, I really recommend this camera since the quality is really good for its price. Like this thing with the lens came in at around like $800, which is actually good considering that you can shoot 4K and 24 megapixel stills and all that. So out of experience, I can really say that this thing is perfect to learn, but then when you kind of know what you're doing, it is nice to have a full frame camera, I'm not gonna lie. Moving on to the full frame camera, I am in the possession of the Sony Alpha 7C, which is actually the tiniest full frame camera out there. And honestly, I love this thing. This thing comes in at around $1,800 with the lens, but honestly, it's worth it. Like, it is still like $1,000 cheaper than all the other full frame cameras out there. But I myself am really satisfied with the results I get. Like, look at this picture. Like, I'm not shooting in 4K right now. I'm shooting in HD, and look at the picture of that. Because this is a long video, and if I record it in 4K, I need to swap my SD card like 5 times before I can finish the video. So yeah, I'm shooting in HD in this one. But as you can see, the quality is really good. It has this super cool tracking feature. When you tap the screen, that literally everywhere you go, you stay in focus. Like, I could literally, like, see? Like, it's, like, look, it's really good. Anyways, that is it for the camera bodies. Let's move on to pretty much the most important thing in my camera bags, the lenses. Also, if you are interested in getting any of these products, I will leave a link down in the description for literally every item that I showed you today. So just so you know, if you want to check them out yourself, link in the description. Alright, moving on to the lenses. In total, I currently have 6 lenses, 4 of them being for full frame, and 2 for the cropped sensor that I usually used with the crop frame. If I drop any of these, I'm literally gonna cry. So the lens I'm using to record this video is the 17-28 f2.8 by Tamron. I'm in love with this lens. It's literally the perfect budget lens for vlogging and YouTube videos since it has a really like wide angle. If you're kind of like going for that Casey Neistat kind of look. So I really love this thing. I'll also overlay some B-roll shots while I talk about the products and stuff. So I can't show it to you right now, but you saw it in the B-roll. Anyways. Next up, we have the 28-60 f4 kit lens that came with the full frame. If you ask me, the quality for a kit lens is outstanding. You can really get some sharp photos and videos with this thing, especially when you use it on full frame, because you know, full frame is just better. Then we have a 50mm 1.8 with OSS, so basically stabilization built into the lens. This thing is meant to be put on an APS-C camera, and this is why I also have the full frame version of the 50mm, and that for a number of reasons. First of all, both of these 50mm, if you have Sony, definitely make sure to check out these two things, link in the description. I really like the OSS one, so the crop frame sensor one, for filming, since Sony cameras have a zoom mode. So basically, if it detects that it's an APS-C lens, it's gonna crop in so you don't have that ugly vignette around the corners. And yeah, since this thing has built-in stabilization, really good for filming. This thing, on the other hand, not so great for filming, since it does tend to focus on quite a bit. So like the full frame version, I don't recommend it for getting it if you want to film a lot. Like this is an issue that I really ran into, since I didn't know that the Sony cameras have a tracking feature that literally tracks everything. Like if I tap here, if I tap my face, I can literally, like, it's detecting my face. So anywhere that I go, if I move closer, I'm gonna be in focus. And I didn't know that this thing existed. We're gonna get rid of that because otherwise all the products are gonna be not in focus. So the 50mm full frame, good for photography. 50mm crop sensor, good for filming. So this is the kit lens, the 18 to 135mm that I bought for my APS-C camera for the A6300. And if you look back to my old videos, you can actually see a huge quality difference, because this thing, if you zoom in a little, it's like f5, and the lens that I'm using right now, the 17 to 28, is a f2.8, so you can really see it in the background. Last but not least, we have the 85mm 1.8, also by Sony. This thing comes in at like $500, so it's like also a budget lens, but let me tell you, this thing is great for portraits and like photography in general, since for video, I feel like you don't really use an 85mm unless you want to do like a close-up or like really get something like really compressed. But yeah, so I mainly use this thing for photography, and I really love it. Like the focal length is also really good for portraits and like everything that has to do with cars and pretty much everywhere that you have a subject, you know. And as I forgot to mention, I have polarizers and ND filters for every single one of these. Hold on. So as you can tell, I have a couple of filters. Alright, that was it for the lenses and the camera. Time to move on for the accessories of my camera, such as tripod, microphone, and all that. The audio device that I use for filming pretty much every video that I record is right on top of this camera. It's a Rode VideoMic Pro, and I got it 2 years ago for I think something like $120, or was it $180? I'm not sure, I'll put it up on screen. Anyways, I really like this thing. The quality, as you can hear, is really great. I also have a dead cat put on there, because if there's just the slightest amount of wind, you can hear nothing without the dead cat. So it's basically this wind protection thing they call dead cat. I'm not sure why. Okay, now that I look at it, let's not talk about dead pets. My dog's looking at me like. Next up, we have a tripod. This thing is from Rolei, whatever you want to pronounce that, and it was like around $100. I'll try to find the exact product on screen. If I didn't find it, I'm sorry, but just type in Rolei tripods, and this thing can extend all the way to 1.80 meters, so kind of like a little smaller than I am. Okay, you can't. So no matter where you are, if you use this thing, you can choose the height you want to shoot at. And now the big question, what drone am I using? Since I use it quite often in my intros and videos and all that, I am currently using, drum roll please, I shouldn't do that anyways, I have the DJI Mavic Air. This thing is 3 years old at this point, and I probably shouldn't jinx it right now, but I'm wondering why I haven't crashed this yet. Unfortunately, I bought this thing like 6 months before the new one, the DJI Mavic Air 2, came out. So I was a little pissed off when I found out that this thing can shoot 8K time lapses, and you can only take like, let's say, decent photos with this thing without having to use all these panorama features and stuff. So I was a little irritated by that, but I decided not to buy it and just stick with it, since I mainly use it for videos, and it has a 4K camera, so I can't complain about that. And of course, I also have filters that come with this thing. Oh my god, it's a little overexposed. Here, there you go. I'll zoom in. Moving on, I also have a gimbal. This is the DJI Ronin SC2, and this thing, let me tell you, is actually really good. So you will see it in the B-roll anyway, so I don't have to, like, you know, put out everything now, because my room's literally already a mess, and I don't want to make it even worse, so it might even break something, so we're just gonna keep it with the B-roll. But yeah, if you're new to filmmaking, I would definitely suggest getting this gimbal, if you're looking for a gimbal, of course, because this thing is actually really good for its price, and yeah, it's not gonna cost, and you're not gonna have to go to the bank and get a loan, because some of these gimbals out there are $2,000 plus, so really good, 10 out of 10 recommend. We're almost done. Bear with me real quick. So For underwater and outdoor stuff, for action related stuff, I have the GoPro Hero 7. So this was the first year when they introduced this hyper smooth stabilization thingy. And let me tell you, this is actually insane. Like, it literally looks like I shot it on the gimbal that I just showed you in this tiny camera. So for the following years, I think now it's like the GoPro Hero 11 or 10 that's on the market already. But honestly, this thing has this stabilization hyper smooth thing. So if I needed, I have smooth shots and that actually look good. So I'm not gonna spend another $500 on a GoPro if I'm rarely using it. And since this thing has stabilization, it's not like I'm missing out too much. Last but not least, well, not quite last, and also, well, yeah, maybe least, because it's like the cheapest thing that I have, is a LED panel. But yeah, this thing is currently out of battery, but anyways, it's a LED panel. But yeah, I take this thing pretty much with me all the time when I go on photo shoots or on hikes, whatever, because this thing, other than creating a portable light source, this thing came in handy for me several times in the past that actually have nothing to do with photography. So you are doing a sunrise hike and you're arriving at the destination and it's still pitch black outside. You look into your camera bag and you see that you forgot your flashlight. Well, guess what? With this LED panel, you can literally see everything. Like, this thing is so bright. I literally used it as like a, flashlight going through the woods and, climbing the mountains. So, but yeah, so just take it with you everywhere you go. These things come in around like $30, so it's not going to cost you a fortune. And these things are actually more handy than you thought. So now there might be the question, what do I edit all these videos and photos that I take on? And like, I know how to use it, but like, I have no idea about all the technical stuff. It's a MacBook Pro 13-inch from 2018. So this thing is like turning 4 and I still don't have any problems with it. Like, I love this thing. It runs smoothly. Photoshop, Lightroom, Final Cut, literally everything. It handles it like a pro. Maybe is that why it's called MacBook Pro? Okay, stop. Okay, this is getting progressively worse. But again, these things have an insane amount of battery life. So if you're looking to get a Mac for editing your stuff, I highly recommend it. I'm not really a Windows type of person. Like, I just like booting up my computer and getting done what I need to get done without running into like 100 different issues that I need to fix first before I can import something. I just like it. MacBooks are simpler. They are just, you can get done whatever you need to get done and don't have to mess around with all the other things if you're not interested in IT stuff and all that. So, and it's also really good in terms of quality, like build quality and all that. The display is amazing. And now for the last thing that I use, a notebook. Having a notebook as a photographer or videographer, whatever you want to call that, because I literally write down all the ideas that I have. I don't know if you can see, hopefully you can see. So basically, I write down YouTube ideas or like my to-do lists and yeah, pretty much everything that has to do with photography and videography I put into this thing. And yeah, I always keep it with me. Pretty much like when I'm going to bed, I'm putting it on my bedside table. So if I wake up in the night and have an idea for a video, or if I'm going to bed and I'm thinking of this super cool idea, I don't forget it until the morning. I just write it down. I have a pen and the notebook next to me. But yeah, this is pretty much everything that I am in the possession of currently. Let's see. Yeah, all the stuff that's like in there, I don't know if you can see. All the stuff that is like in there is like batteries and filters and these windshield thingies that always come with the lenses that I never use. What are these things even for? Like, look, like what are these things even for? Like, seriously, what is this gonna do? Ladies and gentlemen, this is gonna conclude everything that I am currently in the possession of in terms of cameras and lenses and tripods and drones and whatever, literally everything. Now when I look at all this, I'm kind of like, this meme when your parents ask, where's all your money? Well, thank you very much for watching this video. I really appreciate it that you stayed until the end. Make sure to subscribe, like the video, let you know the deal. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.